Hey y'all, it's Laura and welcome to Bookies and Cookies. Today I am doing the rapid fire book tag. This tag was created by Kate over at GirlReading, and I'm doing this tag because I need shorter videos. Like, come on, I made an 18-minute video about The Crown and that's like a 260-page book. So, working on getting faster and quicker and getting to the point of what I want to say, we're gonna do this tag. Ebooks or physical books? I'd say physical books. Ebooks are nice sometimes because especially on long trips and you can bring a ton of them and sometimes they're quicker to read, but overall physical books. Paperbacks or hardbacks? Definitely hardbacks. I know they're more expensive. I mean, right now I technically have equal number of dedicated hardback versus paperback shelves, but I have way more hardbacks down at the bottom that y'all never see. Online or in bookstore shopping? Online shopping, I usually find like better coupons or deals, and then there's the convenience of not having to go out, and then I usually buy enough that there's free shipping, but I definitely have to make sure I go to a bookstore at least like once a month or else like I go a little crazy. Trilogies or series? Series, a lot of trilogies I've noticed have kind of followed the same exact story arc, where you kind of know what to expect and when the plot or climax will be. So series, there's a lot more room for interpretation of what you want to explore. Heroes or villains? Only villains with ambiguous morals, because then you don't know whether to root for them or hate for them, and then you just feel conflicted and twisted inside, and you're like, is that what real people are like? And people think that they're good, but they're actually evil, and then you can't even tell, and how can they even tell? And they think they're doing good, so they're villains that think they're heroes. Yeah. That's how I feel. Morally ambiguous villains. A book you want everyone to read. I'd say the original Siren by Kira Cass, because this is beautiful and I just really loved the story arc and it just was everything and great and it made me happy and there's beautiful quotes and this book changed my life. So good luck trying to find a copy that's not $100 because that's what they're selling for now. Recommend an underrated book. We gotta look at the shelf because I can't remember the underrated books that people haven't read. I guess Stardust, I read this years and years ago. I read this like 8 or 9 years ago, so I don't know how many people have read it since. It's a wonderful like fairy tale type book. The last book you finished as of the time of filming this was Volume 4 of Miss Marvel, The Last Days. And the last book you bought? I bought like 5 books at the same time and they were Homegoing, The Underground Railroad, All the Light We Cannot See, Jane Austen, 4 novels, The Reader. Did I buy another one? I don't think so. I think those were the last 5 books I bought. Am I forgetting? No, those were the 5 books right? No, I think that was it. I think it was those 5. Okay, cool. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark? Probably my phone, and then I look around, I'm like, where's my phone? And then I find it's in my book, and then I tweet about finding it in my book, and then I use my phone as a bookmark, and then I couldn't find it. And so it's just a whole thing. Used books, yes or no? Yes on used books, but there are some like qualifications. So if it's like a classic or like a really old book, like definitely a used book. Like the more weathered and interesting and old and torn and tattered it is, the better. Top 3 favorite genres? Fantasy, historical fiction. What else do I read? I guess classics. I don't read that many classics as I used to. Borrow or buy? It's probably half and half on the borrow and buying. Probably half and half. Characters or plot? Probably the plot. If I don't understand what's happening and why it's happening, like I can't get invested in any part of the book. Long or short books? Probably short books. Long books definitely intimidate me. Long or short chapters? Short chapters too, because then you're just like flying through that book and you're like, oh look, I'm on the next chapter, and you just keep in count and you're like, look how quickly I'm getting through this. Name the first 3 books you think of. First 3 books I think of, my brain is blank. I can't think of any books, and all I can think of are the books that I've already talked about in this video. So The Reader by Tracy Chee, Run by Cody Keplinger, and Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I don't know where that came from. That was so random. Books that make you laugh? Or cry? Probably books that make me want to laugh. When I cry during a book, like that is very rare and not typical, and then it's a whole big emotion and then I'm just crying and sobbing and getting drips on the page and it's just the worst. Our world or fictional worlds? Probably fantasy worlds, and how authors like take a step and talk about our world through a different world that they've made up, but some of the issues still relate. Audiobooks, yes or no? Yes, if they're like a memoir or humor book by like an author who's like writing their own work. If it's a bad narrator, I can't do it. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? I always judge a book by its cover. If it's beautiful, then like, yeah, like I still will buy books that have like awful covers, but if it has a pretty cover, then I'm like, book to movie or book to TV adaptations? Probably book to movie adaptations, because if they change something, it's usually only for like 5 or 10 minutes. Like it's not the entire like story arc. With TV shows, they have to just draw it out across an entire season, so they'll usually like add in some fluff and filler episodes and change things a lot more. A movie or TV show you prefer to the book? I had an answer and then I lost it. I'm angry now. I really like the TV show The White Queen on Starz. It's an adaptation of The White Queen, The White Princess, The Red Queen, The Kingmaker's Daughter, a lot of those series in the Cousins War series by Philippa Gregory, and so I would definitely preferred that to The Red Queen, which got boring after a while. And then series or standalones. Definitely a series because it's wonderful to see how the series and the author's writing evolve over the continual like books in the series. The standalone is just, it's contained, which is nice, but I need to stop starting series because then my TBR goes out of control ginormous. Hopefully this video was short. We'll see in the editing process where this ends up going. This rapid fire. I'm ridiculous. Book tags, a lot of fun to do. You should definitely do it. Just like thinking on your feet and quick toes and make the moves up as you go. My name is Laura. This has been Bookies and Cookies. I post videos on Sundays and Thursdays. I love each and every one of you, and I hope you never forget it, that you are loved, and remember to go with your gut. Thanks, guys.